what the hell? You know, you're sitting in a room, you're the only female.
Yeah.
What's that feel like?
I think for a lot of women, and for myself too, it's felt really like lonely. And it's also felt like all of your inner voices are talking to you. These people are smarter than I am. These people have more education than I do. These people's families have money. I'm not that person.
Our social entrepreneurs are people who have been on the front lines of social change. I've learned so much from talking with them. This is Cafe Impact, and I'm Jonathan Lewis.
With every job, I still feel like there's an element of I'm faking it till I make it, or I have to go in and lead with a real sense of self and a real sense of I can do this, because there's that little voice that's like, well, you're an imposter, or you're really not good enough, or how did you convince them to let you have this job?
Sometimes I feel like I've let women down by not working my way up the ladder further. I was recently at a leadership conference for women, and again it comes up how men, they don't have to know about a subject, but they have no problem saying they're an expert at it, whereas women can actually be an expert at it, but typically don't want to say that. Women are concerned about being the ultimate decision maker. I think typically women are very collaborative and not ready to go out there and say, okay, this is what we're going to do. I mean, I think that's one of the skills I learned, or I believe in, for leadership, is to be the person who makes the call.
We don't talk about this so much, but there's generational differences. I feel like women of my generation are much more about building, about creating new kinds of cross-functional, cross-gender, even multi-generational teams. I think the generation before us has had to struggle to just even be visible and to just even be seen. So that causes its tensions. When you work with women, you're opening padlocks at every stage. Just when one padlock opens, there's another one that you have to work on. And so there's internalized oppression. Like, we internalize so much of what the world sends our way, and how it shows up in our interpersonal relationships is not always pretty. But I think that's what happens when you live in a world that still has oppression.
What I've learned to do is just accept being mediocre. I am not a perfect mother. I am not a perfect professor. I am not a perfect CEO of Akili Dada. I'm not a perfect wife. And there's lots of evidence to support that. Why do I keep doing all of them? Because all of them make me, right? And I get a lot of value and benefit from doing all of them. But how I'm able to keep doing it is by accepting that I am not perfect at any one of them. Reality is, even if I focused on only one or two of them, I probably wouldn't be perfect then either.
I think women tend to go, I should have done this better. It's my responsibility. We take on huge amounts of responsibility, especially, I think, women of color, immigrant women. We have already this sense of, I must hold it all together.
Talk about some of the sacrifices that you make.
First is family. That's been really hard. I'll get home at 2 a.m. And leave for work again at 8, knowing that my 3-year-old son has someone picked him up from daycare, fed him, bathed him, read him a story, put him down to bed.
It's all worth it to you? You do have doubts?
It's all worth it. Do I have doubts? Yes. Right, I mean, if we're to be fully honest, yes, I go through moments where I'm like, man, is this the right thing? I should go get that lush job. But then it's also a calculation of, where does your life bring the most value to the world? I don't believe my life is my own. I don't believe that I am the only one who's supposed to benefit from it.